Next up, we've got Scaffold presenting our Rita Chesterton, Mike Hansen, and Matt Smallinger.
Hi, my name is Rita. I'm excited to be here today with my co-founders, Matt, Mike, and Angie, who's backstage, to introduce for the first time Braket, the mobile workflow solution for schools. I'm a former high school teacher and an instructional technologist, meaning that it's my job to help teachers incorporate new technologies into the classroom. Over a year ago, Mike and I led an initiative where our school gave every 7th grade student and teacher an iPad that they could use at school and at home. We weren't alone. From 1.5 million iPads in 2010 to an estimated 30 million tablet devices in schools by 2018, and that's just in the US. Mobile is fast becoming a part of the growing $7 billion a year educational software market. But introducing iPads into classrooms is creating all new pain points for teachers. You simply can't translate traditional classroom workflows simply and efficiently on mobile devices. Teachers were losing valuable instructional time, and students were growing frustrated. One thing that seemed like it should be easy and every teacher wanted to do was to take handouts and go paperless. If students can annotate directly on their iPads and teachers can mark it up and grade on their iPads, why not? Well, the process was time-consuming and complicated. Others have tried to step in to solve this particular pain point. I've personally tried to implement their solutions in the classroom, but they simply failed to solve the problem of going paperless. They just don't understand how teachers work. And that's what makes Braket different. We understand teachers. We know teachers because we are teachers. We think differently about the solution. I'd like to show you how easy we've made this process with our app, Braket. We're going to switch to a demo right now. Our teacher is going to go ahead and create a new assignment for his students. He's going to go ahead and pull up a handout that he's used in the past, give the assignment a name, establish a due date, set a number of points. You'll see that a preview of that assignment popped up. That makes it easy for teachers to make sure they're handing out the right things to their students. Our teacher can now decide whether to distribute the assignment to the entire class or just select students. Being able to differentiate instruction for all of our individual needs of our students is really important for teachers and is very easy in Braket. Now that our students have their assignment, they can start working on it. Because Braket has a built-in editor, there's no need to download and upload the assignment, no need to open in another app. There's no chance that the student's going to turn their homework into the wrong place. Also, our teacher can see our students' work in progress. So our teacher's going to go in and check on how our student backstage, Angie, is doing on her work. He takes a quick look and sees that Angie wasn't exactly paying attention to the direction. She's not showing her work, so he can give her that notation while she's still working on her work. Matt's gone and finished his assignment. He's completed, so our teacher's going to go in and start grading it. Now, if Matt were sitting on a school bus, or if our teacher were sitting at a baseball game grading papers like they often are, they could do this in Braket. You can work offline, something you can't do on any of our competitors' products. So our teacher's gone ahead and made some quick notations. He's going to give the student a grade. Now Matt's going to go in and see how he did. Looks like Matt got a 7 out of 15. Not too good. So Matt's going to want to see what he did wrong. He can take a quick peek and see it was the second problem. And if he wanted to, he could keep working on it. Seamless digital workflow, available only in Braket. You can go ahead and go back to the slides, please. Go back to the slides. But this is only the beginning. We plan to incorporate solutions to other digital pain points that our teachers are feeling in classrooms. Once we have all of these new features integrated, Braket will be available in 3 subscription levels. Braket Free, which will provide teachers with just enough functionality to get a feel for our workflow solution. Braket Teacher, a low-priced option aimed directly at teachers, which will include our Advanced Assessment Center and a digital lesson planner, which will save teachers quantifiable amounts of time. And Braket School, aimed at our administrative level purchasers, will include what they demand, such as analytics, integration with other school technologies, and tools to help promote better instructional practices. For students, when learning goes digital, they can have a hard time managing their assignments and figuring out what's due. We have a patent-pending organizational solution that will help students work online. And we haven't forgotten about parents. We know how hard it is sometimes to find out what's going on in your child's classroom. And we will include a tool that will allow you to review your student progress. In order to spread the word about Braket, we're going to be reaching out to our extensive professional network on social media, contacting thought leaders and bloggers directly, and reaching out to new educators at conferences. Our goal is to make teachers our biggest advocates. Braket is the only complete workflow solution developed from the ground up specifically for tablets. It allows seamless collaboration between students, teachers, administrators, and parents. Braket frees teachers from their digital burden to focus on what matters most, student learning. We're excited to be here today to launch Braket, the mobile workflow solution for schools. Starting now, teachers can go to braketapp.com and sign up to join our closed beta. Braket will be available on the App Store for iOS 7 this fall.
All right, great job. Judges, any of you want to jump in?
It's really inspiring to see teachers like yourself come up with solutions to make your life easier every day. It's a little bit tricky in general in the education space to make money by selling software to the teacher, to the school. How are you going to overcome this in order to build a big business?
Right, we hear this all the time. We also know that, first of all, teachers will pay for tools that save them time, and grading and planning are the two things that take up most teacher time outside of instruction. And once teachers get a hold of a tool that really works for them, they become your advocate in the district to push. So one of the members of our team is actually a technology administrator for a school district. So he's sort of our target client. We know how the school purchasing model works. We know that there's budgeting and those sorts of things, but we really have focused on doing that sort of guerrilla marketing at teachers, getting them to really push for us.
Are people using it right now, currently?
No.
They're not?
No.
Oh, do you have some beta users?
We have had some test groups that we've worked with who've tried it out. Most of the development and most of the idea comes from me working with other teachers and going to conferences and discussing the specific problem. Every iPad conference you go to, they talk about workflow problem.
What have you learned anything? I know you were a teacher, but have you learned anything from these beta groups that surprised you about the product or what they needed?
So far, to be honest, a lot of the times what they ask us for, because we have really a small set of features built out, I've mostly been able to tell them, you know what, that's coming next. That's the next thing that we have coming for you. A lot of these features I've developed from just teachers complaining to me over the years about what they really need to work in their classrooms. I'm sure that there will be things that come up, and that's one of the reasons we have a beta, and we want to listen to teachers and find out exactly what they need, because a lot of times these tools that we're using in classes, they're great, they work, but they don't work for teachers, and that's really what our focus is.
It seems like this all depends on how many iPads are actually in people's hands. So are there enough fifth graders with iPads to make this work?
Well, we're K-12. There are now about, estimates range from 8 to 10 million iPads that are in use in schools. Our product will work whether or not every student and teacher has their own iPad, or whether or not they have to switch in and out of the app. They can do that with our app, which you can't do necessarily with some of the other products. One of the things we wanted to make sure. We're also looking to develop in the future, going out to Android, knowing that Google's really making a push with Android tablets into the classroom. So,
what happens to the one kid that doesn't have any kind of tablet?
Right. Well, most schools, when they do these programs, we're looking initially at targeting those schools that have what are called one-to-one programs, where every child gets a mobile device, either purchased by the school, or if it's a private school, their parents are required to purchase it for them. So that's our initial target market.
Got it. Okay.
So your assumption, just so I got this right, is that all the educational material is going to be available on iPads, so there won't be a translation issue?
We're not, our app uses what teachers already use. So we don't provide the content, the
Yeah.
teachers provide the content. So it's all of the worksheets that they've been using over the
Got it.
years, everything that they've been doing. Yeah.
So thank you for answering that. My second and more important question to me is, how do you build a monopoly doing this? Like I'm a venture capitalist, otherwise known as someone who would like to be a monopolist. And what I'm trying to understand is, I understand how you could get virality in a classroom with parents and teachers. The question is, how do you get it in a school then, a school district, the whole school system, so it becomes a winner-take-all business?
Right. Well, what we do is those additional functionalities are what tries to push from the teacher level. So for a teacher level, you need to do things like every student needs to type in a code to enroll in a class. But if the whole district does it, we'll integrate with your information system, and every student will be automatically enrolled in classes. So that's sort of the push to go there. The other thing that we do is we know that teachers, it's easier for a teacher to be creative and come up with new lesson plans if they can also reuse things that they've done in the past. So we try to make it easy so that year after year, teachers can just sort of go into a class that they've done. And so that helps make sure that the schools continue to use our product year after year after year.
Thank you.
So what are some of the use cases that your product is the best suited for, like huge pain points that teachers have?
The huge pain points they have is really this idea that because of the way iPads work, they're having to take an assignment that they've given, the student has to open it in an annotation app and then send it back to the collection app. And then the teacher has to look at the grade that they wrote on it and then put it into some sort of a gradebook app. And then they've got to take what's in the gradebook app and open up their laptop and put it into the school's grade. It's just, there's so many different steps that teachers have to go through that it's really frustrating. And it's not allowing them to do the really amazing things that you can do with iPads. They're just kind of stuck with the basics.
Thank you.
Any other questions?